Now, these are some of the habits that are considered rude by the service users, residents, clients, and even to some of your work colleagues. Yes, sometimes we do these things, we laugh over them, but they are very much annoying. And even in our home country, we do all that, especially the number one that I'll be talking about now, which is communicating at work in our language, colloquial English sort of, before your colleagues, or or you are out on a field with perhaps a service user, especially those of you that do support work. Usually you are asked to take a resident out for shopping, holiday, or just for a walk. And you might be lucky on that day, because sometimes two people usually take a resident out, isn't it? Depending on the kind of the challenges the resident has, and it happens to be both of you from the same country, and not only from the same country, from the same tribe. That means both of you speak the same language, understand each other's language, and before the service user, both of you will be conversing with your local dialect before that service user. That is considered very rude. And at work, on the dining, anywhere, right there at the table, you start chatting with your friend or the one from your country in your local dialect. They wouldn't like you for that. And this is not the R factor. Neither will it be considered as raising a race card, racism. No, it is not. It can be very annoying. Everyone would presume that you are saying something about them, speaking against them. That's why you choose to speak in a language that they wouldn't understand. It's quite unfortunate that Oyibo people, they only speak English. They are the native English speakers. Even though there are times when they, rap their English, even if you are looking at them mouth to mouth and eye to eye, eyeball to eyeball, you wouldn't even pick a word from what they are saying at that point. But that notwithstanding, they still express themselves using English language. But it is considered rude. Please stop doing that. It is not nice. What somebody would do to you and you wouldn't like it, don't do it to others. Number two things that we do: raising our tones towards our clients, residents, service users. It's very bad. We are naturally loud people, Africans, Nigerians, but here it's where everyone has to reshape their tone of expression to be romantic, mildly, when you express yourself, when you talk to the next person, the patient, the residents precisely, speak nicely, don't be harsh, don't raise your voice. I noticed that at work recently, even to the little kids I work with. If you give them that commanding order, they don't listen to you. One kept on going, what did you say? Until you say something nicely to them. That is the kind of tone they appreciate, instead of you using commanding tone. It is not for the kids here. Yes, I work in a school. I've got to learn about that, and the same applies to adults. I think I've made an example of my case with a bus driver, as well in one of my videos, when the bus driver told me something about, oh, that's the last bus stop there. I said, I know. He picked offense that I raised my voice, that maybe my tone of responding was really insulting, but that wasn't insulting to me. So we should learn to speak nicely, mildly to our colleagues, to those that we are rendering services to. And the third point is leaving residents unattended, especially when you walk them to the bathroom, to the toilet, and they sit there, you just walk away. If you walk away further, you wouldn't hear when they are done or when they call you for help, and if it is somebody who is unsteady on his stability or on his legs, definitely an accident might occur, and you would definitely be held responsible for not being there to attend to that resident that minute he or she needed your help. So always stand close by so that you could hear when the person shouts out for your help. Fourth is, please do not argue with your colleague in front of the service user or patient. There was a video I shared here, I think about last week or so, but YouTube flagged off that video. Two professionals, they were probably nurses because they were wearing their work robe, and they engaged in a battle of Muzanga. It was a real one, to be honest. You know, they were going like this, in a hospital in London on their uniform. I mean, definitely even the patient's relatives must have seen them, you know. Oh my goodness, people who came to the hospital because the place they were, you know, doing that was in an open place, and their colleagues. And one thing that happens here, when you engage in like this here, nobody would come to separate you. Yes, 2 days ago, my husband was taking my boy to school. He witnessed one on the bus. They said the man was a drunken, I mean, he probably was drunk, according to my husband, because of the way he was talking and all them stuff. And then he kept delaying. He didn't have money. And another man that was behind, you know, who was actually running late to work, decided to release one bad blow on the man, on the man that was drunk, you know. And then they started like that. My husband said he went to separate them. I said, eh? He said, yeah, that he actually observed them, being that he suspected that definitely they wouldn't have any weapon on them. Because this is another reason people don't separate fight in this country. You don't know who has knife, who has a dagger, who has a gun here. You might be a victim of rubbish. Your kindness might kill you in this country, you know. But he said he went to separate them, you know, as in bringing his voice down while talking to them. Can you stop? But then the driver rang the police. Yeah. And luckily it was just 2 bus stops away to my boy's school where he alighted, you know. So do not engage in a verbal altercation, exchange of words with your colleague, or even with service users in front of a service user. I don't know how to put it. That doesn't speak nice of you. And definitely, that one is a big one. Not about speaking nice about you. That would cost you your job. Let me just put it straight and make it clear. It will cost you your job. It will cost you your license if you are a nurse. And these 2 nurses in London, their job got terminated. Yes, afterwards. I wonder what would make anyone fight at work. And to think that both of them were, you know, people of the same color. I don't know what they are struggling, what they were arguing over. They were talking. It is a big shame, you know, having 2 people on their uniform staff who were supposed to protect the patients, serve them, and then they were being brutal, hostile to themselves at work. That was a big shame. It was quite disappointing watching that. That video was almost about 5 minutes. There shouldn't be any reason for you to engage in verbal arguments. Yes, just wait until after work, because you are not only representing yourself at work, you are representing your company, especially if you are an agency staff who goes around in different places. You know, it wouldn't say that. In fact, your company would definitely terminate your job before you ring them to report, because where you've gone to work, they will be the one to ring your company if you are a supply or an agency staff. Before you finish carrying your bag, your company has already decided your case, you know. So it's not a nice thing to do, though. Now, the most important point here is do not do whatever you are not trained to do. Just have the confidence. Nobody beats you for talking in this country, for saying no to anything. You have the right to speak up, to say, no, I am not qualified to do this. For instance, you were asked to do a catheter. Hey, can you do a catheter? You know, to set a line. Hey, just tell them, though doctors set line at the hospital, but as a nurse, if they ask you to set a line, they just tell them that you're not trained to do that. It's not your job. You know, there's always division of level in this very country. As a carer, if they ask you to do catheter, empty urine bag, if you have not been trained to empty the urine bag here, just tell them you are not. And if you were asked to do something like a bowel care, you know, to insert a suppository and thinga, if you have not been trained, if nobody has shown you how to do that, please do not do it. Because if anything goes wrong, you'll be held responsible to that, you know. So don't do whatever that you are not trained to do. Speak up and say no to that. No gara gara in this place. Yes, basically at workplace, you are, expected to maintain professionalism. Yes, no matter the kind of job you are doing. As a carer, you've always done this training, the 15 care standards, manual handling, medication, and if you are not medication trained, you have no business touching patients or residents' medicine if you are not trained to do so. Though they would always ask you, but for those of you that do home support work, you go to homes and blah blah blah, always tell them if you are not trained to do it, they can offer training for you. Yes, they can always offer to train you on that aspect. Manual handling, if you have not used a facility and equipment before and you got to work, you were sent to a client who has all them working thing, all them facilities, you've not used one, just tell them, I don't know how to use this, I haven't used it before. They will put you through, yes, before you can start using all that. So do not make mistake, maintain professionalism at work. Even if it is cleaning, there are cleaning facilities that you may not have used. Companies that provide cleaning services, they do train people on how to use that. Do not shy away and say, waiting there for cleaning, no be to clean house, no be to do this. By the time you spoil the machine they gave you, or they ask you to do dishes, and those of you that work in restaurants and all them stuff, you just go and start pressing the machine anyhow, something you do not know. Ask. Yes, ask. One of the days I went to work, the service user asked me to boil egg for him. PM, I went to the kitchen. This was the job I've been working for like 4 or 5 months. I've never used the kitchen to boil anything apart from the hot water for my own tea. He said I should boil 3 eggs for him. I went to the kitchen. I looked at the burner. The burner is entirely different from the burner I use in my house. I had to go and tell him, I looked at it and looked at it. I could not figure it out. I said, please, can you show me how to? He directed me on how to do that because there was nobody around. It was just both of us. And the living carer was already asleep. I didn't want to disturb the living carer. So the service user who was in his house, had to direct me because him too, he doesn't have all this physical capacity, but he has mental capacity. He knows how to use every facility in his house. He directed me on how to do it. So instead of you going there to press that, you might even end up setting the house ablaze. Just ask question. The key. Then they changed their washing machine. When I got there, I had to ask question, how to use this. Then the dishwasher, what we usually do at night. PM, once you come, the living carer has done all them stuff, put all the dishes in the dish. It's just for you to on it. PM, and it will wash all night because that dishwasher takes 5 hours to wash. PM, the first time I have to ask question, please, can you show me? I have a dishwasher in my house, but I don't use it. And looking at theirs is also different from what I have at home. Ask questions. The key. Over sabi and the gara go put you in prison in this very country if you are not careful. Alright, I don't talk to finish it for today. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming for more. Drop your questions in the comment section, and I will be glad to answer directly or make videos about them. Bye.